Behind Jungkook and Taehyung's friendship that has always looked warm, compact, and full of laughter in public, there are stories that are rarely, almost never, fully disclosed. The world knows them as two global stars who grew up together in one legendary group. Yet few truly understand the layers of emotion that shape their relationship over time. What is visible on stage is only the surface of a long journey filled with difficult choices, silences, and feelings that do not always find words. Jungkook is known as a strong, disciplined figure and always tries to be a backup for those around him. From a young age, she carried great expectations, not just as a magne, but as a figure who was expected to always look perfect. Behind his smile and energy, there is a story about pressure that he rarely told. Jungkook often chooses to keep his feelings to himself, believing that silence is the best way to protect others from his worries. The loneliness he feels does not always come from the absence of people, but from the habit of refraining from burdening anyone. Taehyung, on the other hand, is a sensitive and reflective figure. He feels emotions with great intensity, but does not always find the right time to express them. Taehyung often looks relaxed and full of expression, but behind that is confusion and doubt that he keeps tight. He perceives the world in a different way, slower, deeper, and sometimes finds it difficult to harmonize the rhythm of his heart with the demands of reality. In his silence, he often asks whether his feelings will be understood or simply misinterpreted. Their friendship grows between two different ways of facing the world. Jungkook with a tendency to hold back and shoulder, Taehyung with a habit of brooding and observing. They complement each other, but also keep each other at a distance at certain moments. There was a time when they were very close, shared laughter and dreams, and there was a time when silence became the main language. Not because of major conflict, but rather because each is grappling with his own personal story. Many fans felt that Jungkook and Taehyung's closeness was not something far-fetched. It is noticeable by small details, a brief look, a pause waiting for each other, or a calm presence without the need for a spotlight. But behind all that, there are things that they do not share with the public. Jungkook rarely talks about his fear of losing his way, about the tiredness that comes with constantly trying to be the best version for everyone. Taehyung rarely expresses his anxiety about identity, about feeling like he doesn't always fit in a world that demands certainty. It is these untold stories that shape the depth of their friendship. They learn to read each other without having to constantly ask questions. Jungkook understands when Taehyung needs space, and Taehyung knows when Jungkook is holding back something for too long. Their support often does not come in the form of words, but rather presence. A togetherness that demands no explanation, only mutual understanding. There are moments when the distance is felt more clearly. Busyness, industry pressure, and personal growth make them walk at a pace that is not always parallel. But the distance did not break the bond. It is precisely there that the maturity of their relationship is seen, that closeness does not necessarily mean being together all the time, and attention does not always have to be visible to the world. They give each other room to grow, even if it means facing each other's loneliness. For Jungkook, Taehyung is often a reminder that not all burdens have to be carried alone. For Taehyung, Jungkook is proof that sincerity can come in its simplest form. They do not always say great things, but their presence with each other has a consistent meaning. In the midst of a changing world, this friendship survives not because it is trouble-free, but because both choose to remain respectful of each other. Fans who followed their journey closely began to understand that what is hidden does not always mean fragile. The stories that are not revealed are part of the process of becoming an adult. Jungkook and Taehyung don't offer an ideal, unscathed friendship story. Instead, they show that a real relationship is one that makes room for imperfection. In the end, behind Jungkook and Taehyung's friendship, there are two personal stories that run side by side, not always intersecting, but influencing each other. They don't need to reveal everything to the world to prove their closeness. Silence, distance, and stored stories are precisely the foundation of a relationship that has stood the test of time. And perhaps therein lies its beauty. A friendship that doesn't scream for recognition, but still feels real to anyone who looks at it with a sensitive heart. As time went on, the untold stories slowly formed a pattern that only the two of them could understand. Jungkook and Taehyung never consciously agreed to keep each other's secrets, but in reality, they grew up with the understanding that not everything should be talked about. There is enough fatigue to be felt. There is enough anxiety to be known without the need to be elaborated. In a world that constantly demands openness and clarity, they find strength in boundaries. Jungkook, who from the beginning of his career was accustomed to being the center of hope, often feels that he must always be strong even when he himself does not fully understand what he is feeling. There are phases when he feels disoriented, when great achievements are precisely accompanied by a sense of emptiness that is difficult to explain. But those stories rarely come out of him. He chose to channel everything through hard work, through discipline, through trying to remain someone who can be relied on. In that silence, Taehyung is often one of the few people who is able to sense that something is not going well. Taehyung himself keeps a different, but no less weighty story. His sensitivity makes him often feel too much to feel, too deeply to think about things that to others may seem trivial. He often asks himself if the way he sees the world will be accepted or even considered strange. That doubt he rarely shares directly, but is present in his sometimes distant attitude, sometimes immersed in his own thoughts. Jungkook, without asking much, learns to accept that rhythm as part of Taehyung. Their relationship was not always in a warm and close phase. There was a time when communication was noticeably shorter, when busyness and pressure made them walk each other's paths. But what distinguishes this friendship is the absence of demands. They do not charge each other with explanations, do not force closeness to look perfect. It is precisely by giving that space that their bond survives. They understand that maturity often means letting the people we care about find their own way. Many small moments that went unnoticed by the public became the strong foundation of their relationship. When Jungkook chose to be silent, Taehyung didn't force him to speak. As Taehyung sinks into his thoughts, Jungkook doesn't think of it as a threatening distance. There's a slowly growing belief that whatever is not spoken today will someday find its own time. It is this trust that makes their friendship feel stable, although it does not always look close in the public eye. The untold stories also teach them empathy. Jungkook learns that not all feelings have to be resolved with quick action. Taehyung learns that not all anxieties need to be deciphered in order to be understood. They meet at the halfway point, adjust to each other without losing themselves. In the process, they not only grow as group mates, but as individuals who learn to understand others in a more mature way. In the end, Jungkook and Taehyung's friendship stands not because of the similarities of the stories, but because of the acceptance of the differences. They carry each other's wounds, confusions, and hopes, then choose to walk side by side without having to open everything to each other. And perhaps that's precisely why this relationship feels so real. Behind the laughter, the silence, and the distance that are sometimes present, there are two stories that go on and on, not always revealed, but always affecting each other in the most human way possible.